Hey, Science Seekers, this is Mr. Pfeiffer. I'm coming back with our last video of our highlights to all of the Google Science Project finalists, I should say. They're all winners, though, to be honest with you. They did some amazing things and deserve a great deal of recognition. One of the reasons we're doing this is to show just how science is everywhere, and these are some students that have definitely shown that. So we have Sukanya. I'm going to show you her introduction and her video. Remember, you can see all of these videos in the description section where we have their video posted. You will need to be a user of the district to see it in its entirety. So here is her project with her video.
Hello, my name is Sukanya Ghosh, and I am an 8th grade magnet student at Margaret Mead Junior High. This past spring, the world was caught in a catch-22, or should I say 2020, situation. Citizens were quarantined due to the COVID-19 pandemic, preventing them from going to hospitals to seek healthcare besides for emergency or COVID visits. Meanwhile, healthcare staff were locked inside hospitals to work long hours of providing emergency care. Telemedicine services like healthcare Teledoc came into play here, as these apps allowed anyone to call healthcare professionals to receive a virtual consultation. However, due to the quarantine regulations, these companies were bombarded with calls. One of my immediate family members was personally affected by this when they had to use a telecare service but were put on hold for hours before receiving medical attention. As a solution, the access to common technology combined with machine-learned medical consultation apps would provide a cost-effective and timely detection of illness, minimizing unnecessary doctor visits. In this science experiment, I tested the accuracy of machine learning in detecting common illnesses or conditions such as conjunctivitis and insect bites. I hypothesize that the machine learning program will be able to accurately identify a patient's illness for the majority of the images inputted into the system. The independent variables consist of the type of conditions being tested and the visuals inputted into the system. The dependent variable is how accurately, in percent, the machine learning program can detect a patient's condition. For my procedure, I created two image models, one between bacterial conjunctivitis and allergic conjunctivitis, and the other between common house spider bites and brown recluse spider bites. I inputted 15 images of each condition into the classes and trained the models. Lastly, I tested the models using other images in which the system delivered percentages of the detected illness. The results confirmed the initial hypothesis, as 100% of the images from both conjunctivitis and spider bite models were distinguished correctly. The conclusive analysis of this study presents that machine learning in telemedicine is significantly accurate and should be implemented as a user-friendly app. My scientific study targets the UN global goal of good health and well-being and uses technology to make a positive impact in public health.
All right. Wow. So what was this program that you used to make this model?
So I used the Google Teachable Machine, which is a platform that allows users to use machine learning. It's a more simplified version, or it's a branch of artificial intelligence. And what you can do is train your own model using images or poses or video, whatever you want to use. And I used images in my model. And it'll, at the end, when you train it, it'll show you what is the percentage of the classes that you originally trained. So it kind of tells you um, the accuracy and detection of whatever you want to detect.
Okay, very cool. So we really have this kind of like three big questions I've been asking all the finalists. The first one I want to ask you is, how is your project making the world better? How is this science helping us today?
So my project directly, again, targets and tries to solve this issue that we have in the world of public health that's accessible to everyone. And public health, especially in the coronavirus pandemic this year, which we saw that most people everyone was quarantined at home. And if you needed medical care outside of if you had the coronavirus or emergency care, you were just stuck at home and you simply could not go. And this also created a lot of patient delay with getting to healthcare. And in the long run, it creates, and so let me back up a little. Um, Sorry, doctor visits are also very, um, sometimes a lot in the world, there's also a lot of excess doctor visits in the world, and this creates an excess of around $200 billion. So my project, to answer your question, kind of combines a lot of different aspects of public health to create a user-friendly, accessible app that could reduce a lot of extra money wasted on unnecessary doctor visits.
Awesome. And my second question was, what throughout this journey, this whole science project, what was one of your lows and one of your highs, one of your struggles, one of your successes?
So, kind of, both of my lows and highs are kind of focused around the technology I used and what the results it produced. So one of my lows was, I guess, the machine I used. You need a lot of images, of course, to train the model, and to find those images, I had to kind of seek out a lot of reliable healthcare websites and use Google, of course, to find all these images of my illnesses. And so that was kind of a time consuming process. So it was sometimes frustrating to see that there weren't like a lot of images and I had to really take a lot of time. But one of my highs was when I saw that the image model worked really, really well. And I was really excited to see that like I kind of trained this by myself and I was able to see like the outcome, which was really positive, and it was just really gratifying to see.
That's awesome. It really is. Um, I guess my last question is just, what advice would you give to a person that was going to go through this process, do a Google Science project, walk into this next year? What would you tell them?
So I would say to like find a topic that you really are inspired by and something that really like stirs that passion within you, because science really is at the end of the day kind of changing the world with, I feel, after doing Google Science Project, it's kind of changing the world with your passions and what you like to do. So like finding something in public health and using AI was something I wanted to explore more. And I would also say that science is always, obviously you're asking new questions all the time. So just keep being curious and your project will, develop and be a great one.
That's great advice. I appreciate that. Well, I will tell you, I'm quite proud of what you've done. And I do feel like a lot of other people are going to see this and be really proud and very excited, because you know what, you've done what you can to make the world better and at a young age. And I think that's just going to grow and get better over time. So continue to work hard and you're going to go far. Well done, Sukanya. We're going to let you guys go. Thanks for seeing our Science Secrets today. Peace. All right, hold on.